A warm welcome and good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining us for today's AmCham breakfast. Please note that, as usual, we will record this event and we'll publish the video and audio material on our website and also on our social media channels, or use some of it for public relations work. First of all, it is my great pleasure to introduce new members. First, Clay, spelled with quadruple E, cover director GmbH. Also known as Airbnb of Art. Clay offers companies and individuals access to art to temporarily acquire art from well-known artists such as Andy Warhol or Steve Kaufman or Juan Miro, starting at 79 euros per month. And it offers its services under the motto Art Meets Zeitgeist. And founder and CEO Michael Holiszowski has positioned Clay as a central art platform for renting and leasing original paintings by renowned artists of various styles. So this is really interesting. The concept takes the modern zeitgeist into account and aims at making exclusive original art affordable for use in offices or even living spaces. Please welcome with us Michael Holiszowski. I don't know if he has joined us today. But anyway, we're very happy to have Clay with us. The second new member is Marcin and Partner. Marcin and Partner GmbH was founded in 1996 by Hannes Marcin as an owner-managed full-service PR agency based in Vienna. They have been advising a number of well-known national companies, organizations, non-profit organizations in strategic communication. The focus of the agency is on the areas of health and nutrition, tourism and culture, science education, and sustainable development. In the last 3 years, the agency has systematically expanded its digital skills in cooperation with the world's leading digital media agencies and developed so-called PR-driven 360-degree campaigns. The company has received outstanding quality rankings, for instance, of Austrian PR agencies like Expert or MediaNet, and they rank among the top 3 agencies, and in the area of customer satisfaction, even first place. So we would like to welcome Johannes Marcin. Again, I'm not sure if Johannes is with us today, but we're very pleased to have this new member as well. As for next events, let me point out to September 14th, where we have the annual General Assembly and the business luncheon at the Palais Hansen-Kempinski. I'm really excited at the prospect to meet you all in person again. Let's hope it will be. Our guest of honor will be Dr. Harald Mahrer, President of the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber and President of the Austrian National Bank. And then on the 24th of September, we will have the next AmCham talks after the summer break, either via Zoom or potentially hybrid. Our guest speaker will be Wolfgang Anzengruber, member of the ÖBAG Participation Committee. And now I have the honor to introduce Professor Elisabeth Stadler, our speaker of today's event. Elisabeth Stadler studied actuarial mathematics at the Vienna Technical University and began her career in the Austrian insurance industry. She has held posts as managing board member and chairwoman, and since 2014 has been managing director, general manager at Donauversicherung until 2016, and since then CEO of Vienna Insurance Group. Mrs. Stadler is further member of the Board of Trustees at the Institute of Science and Technology of Austria, Vice President of the Austrian Red Cross, as well as Supervisory Board member for both OMV and Voestalpine. In May 2014, she was awarded the professional title of Professor by Federal Minister Gabriele Heinisch-Hossek for her merits in the insurance industry. We really look forward to your speech today, which will address trends and developments in the insurance industry. Elisabeth Stadler, welcome, and thank you very much for speaking to us. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much for your invitation and this really nice and kind introduction. It's a pleasure for me to be here and to share with you our thoughts and expectations regarding the trends and developments in the insurance industry. Ladies and gentlemen, on slide 2, you can see when taking over the role as CEO of Vienna Insurance Group in 2016, as already just mentioned, I have initiated a strategic working program. This was called Agenda 2020. This is an insight, but you can see here on the slide. The idea was to create a broad range of concrete measures for sustainable success. And I think I can say, and I'm a little bit proud to say, that we have achieved our planned objectives. Not only regarding the optimization of our business model, that strongly supported the improvement of our combined ratio. This is the relation between income and outgo. So this means this is our result and our success, but also with regards to ensuring future viability and growth. There was a progress made in all areas, and particularly the digital transformation of our group proved to be essential in the past year. Digitalisation will, of course, remain on our agenda, but not as a separate trend anymore. Meanwhile, it's part of our daily life and business, and therefore influencing and affecting all parts of it. With this in mind, and with the experience of pandemic in the last months, we created a new strategic program. This one is called VIG-25, so this means for the next 5 years, which we introduced to our employees and also to the press and to our shareholders last month. Developing a scenario for the future is a material precondition for any strategy process. In the case of VIG-25, we worked with all our group CEOs, and these are 50 in 30 countries, to define the major future drivers as a basis for our view on the future. On slide 3, the 7 major trends and developments that we have settled upon are shown, and I would like to go through them in more detail over the next 10 minutes. Trend number 1, evolution instead of revolution. What do we mean by that? With all the changes, digital developments, and trends considered, we rather see an evolution of today's setting than a real disruption. Yes, of course, insurtechs and new players emerge, but at the same time, insurers work on their business models and incorporate new technologies. This is why VIG and also our biggest daughter company, the Austrian company Wiener Städtische, became a founding partner of Plug and Play. This is the leading global innovation platform in Silicon Valley, already back in November 2019. The partnership provides to us access to a network of over 50,000 pre-vetted startups and helps to drive innovation within the group. In a pilot project in September 2020, we have launched our own startup.
Hat's geläutet.
Okay. In a pilot project in September 2020, we have launched our own startup called Be Safe, together with our Polish group company, offering motor insurance with full digital distribution and claim settlement via an online platform. By establishing this full digital solution, we are addressing a growing digitally affine customer segment and are planning to expand this concept to other CEE markets we are active in. There are many more examples I could give from the past 4 years. On average, VIG Group had 180 digitalization projects underway, and depending on local needs, our group companies in our 30 markets will keep on working on the digital transformation. COVID-19 has for sure and will further reinforce the acceptance of digital forms of interaction and has impacts on other trends as well. This leads me to trend number 2, the low interest rate environment. A challenge for the insurance industry for quite a while now, and we do not expect this to change. In the aftermath of COVID-19, the real interest rate levels will remain low. This has an impact on the savings behavior, and the traditional savings-oriented life insurance product is not so popular anymore. For insurers, this means that technical viability and efficiency overall are becoming more and more important. Let's move to trend number 3, increased pressure due to regulation and interest groups. You must know already now, insurance is among the most heavily regulated and supervised economic sectors in the European Union, with 90% of insurance law and regulation originating from European level. And unfortunately, there is more to come. The latest report from our European Affairs Department from February covered 28 upcoming initiatives from the European Commission, affecting all business areas from distribution over the balance sheets to digital finance. The most comprehensive chapter of this report was focusing on the European Green Deal. The timeline for the European Commission's flagship plan, aiming to make Europe the world's first climate-neutral continent by 2050, is extremely ambitious. Sustainability and ESG, this means entrepreneurial, social, and governmental topics, are important for VIG since many years. It's our clear ambition to combine economic objectives with environmental, social, and governance factors, and of course integrate them into our core business. Since 2017, we publish a specific sustainability report, providing all the annual details on the development of our corporate social responsibility strategy. All the new regulations regarding sustainable finance, for example, the expected European Union taxonomy for sustainable investments, mean business implications far beyond corporate disclosure. In this process, we will support our group companies, raising awareness not only about the upcoming regulations, but especially also about the important ESG overall, and this especially in Eastern Europe. This leads us to trend number 4, access to customers, another key topic with high importance for us as insurer. Insurance is a consulting product with low contact frequency. Not everybody is waking up in the morning and saying, "Yoo-hoo, today I must buy an insurance." Often the contact to the insurance company is only in case of claim. Therefore, insurers aim to increase their visibility towards our customers. We see this really as a crucial and expect increasingly supported by digitalization, a sort of hybrid distribution to emerge, with physical on the one side and digital alternatives for our sales agents and customers to act and interact with each other. This has to be seen in light of changed customer expectations and requirements, often shaped by other industries. On consequence, out of this is trend number 5, partial erosion of insurance as a standalone product. Particularly in the non-life segment, we expect more insurance built-in solutions. This means customers will be offered packages to their everyday life needs, such as mobility, travel, or housing, with insurance already included for their convenience. Let me give you an example. You book a holiday trip and some sort of travel insurance is included. You lease a bike or skis and theft insurance is included. sometimes explicitly, sometimes implicitly. In any case, it's quick, convenient, and easy. And the lesson is, insurers need to be where our potential clients are. This leads us to trend number 6, creation of digital platforms and ecosystems. Platforms and ecosystems are the new ways to reach the customers. Platforms are organized by a non-insurance product provider who already has a customer base and who wants to extend the services offered. Here, the insurer acts as a product or solution provider and will be able to approach new customer groups. Ecosystems are different. We understand ecosystems as a set of services and solutions around a customer's basic need, such as mobility or health. As an insurance group, we want to attract and retain customers by addressing this basic need, by orchestrating services and solutions to respond to this need. So the insurance itself is visible with its brand. We did include, of course, this in our new strategy program. We believe that we can better address the insurance needs by offering such holistic solutions to customers going forward. Unfortunately, still, these insurance needs are often not recognized. Therefore, last but not least, trend number 7, the latent demand. Given the characteristics and specifics of insurance I already mentioned, especially long-term life and health insurance are long-lasting contracts. This means the need for insurance is often not realized by the customers. This leads to a non-detected and hence latent demand. Due to technological developments and demographic changes, we will see less human-to-human interaction and will lose parts of the explanatory and also for sure consulting power of our sales force. But exactly this consulting power and know-how of sales forces is needed also in the future to raise the risk awareness and help protecting what matters to our customers. And as mentioned before, it's going to be a combination of digital and personal contact, and it's the customer's choice how they want to interact with us. Ladies and gentlemen, these were the major trends and developments that I wanted to share and that we have taken as basis to develop our new group strategy program. On slide 4, we have put together all the pieces in addition to our strategy that are contributing to our success. VIG, to give you some information about the company, is the leading insurance group in Central and Eastern Europe and follows a successful business model that proved its resilience also during the pandemic. Our decentralized approach, our principle of local entrepreneurship are, in my opinion, the key drivers for really the solid operative performance of our group. We trust and rely on local management. Our local managers know the needs of the local customers and their markets best. This puts us close to our clients and helps to react quickly on changing market conditions, which is really extremely important in developing markets like CEE. And as we have learned during the pandemic. Our solid capitalization is confirmed by our A+ stable outlook rating from Standard & Poor's. This is on the next slide. And our strategy program will respond to the discussed trends and for the first time also includes these ESG related targets in 3 areas. We will further pursue our sustainability strategy, and in order to increase our efforts, we have issued a senior sustainability bond with a volume of 500 million euros in the first half of 2021, allowing for a combination of green and social assets. With our mergers and acquisition activities, maybe you know this from the press, we want to grow, we want to increase our portfolio, we want to expand our business. We are fostering through these activities our position as top player in the region. We will take advantage of all the opportunities also in the future. On the next slide, I would like to end my presentation with a short overview. I already gave you some informations. We have about 50 group companies in 30 different markets, 25,000 employees, serve more than 22 million customers. We have the Standard & Poor's A+ rating with a stable outlook. We are listed on the Austrian Stock Exchange, also on the Prague Stock Exchange. Since 1994, we had a continuous payout of dividends, and at the moment our market capitalization by the end of March, it's even better now, is about 2.8 billion. Our main targets are the further expansion of the leading position VIG has in Central and Eastern Europe, and to create sustainable value for our stakeholders. On the last slide, I like this picture very much because this is gives you good information and good insight into our group, into our main pillars and into our topics. I already mentioned that we focus on local entrepreneurship, that the managers, the persons, the people in our countries are very important for us, that we give them as much freedom as they need to run their business. We also keep local brands when we have acquired companies. We do not change the brand name to one international brand name, as a lot of our competitors do. We like to keep the local brands because they are very well known on the local markets, and they give confidence to our customers. And therefore, you see here a very nice picture with the different brands in the different countries of our group. Maybe you know for sure most the Austrian companies, and the two Austrian companies are Wiener Städtische and Donauversicherung, belonging to our VIG group. In order, ladies and gentlemen, to leave enough time for questions and discussions, I would say I finish here my presentation. I tried to give you some insights in VIG group, and I tried to give you some information what is important for the insurance industry in the next years, and how we handle and how we deal with this challenge. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Stadler. This was a very interesting insight into your group, and I would like to open the floor to questions at this stage. And Susie, could you be so kind to administer questions? I don't know how do you do this, with hand raising or simply asking questions? Who would like to begin? I see a hand.
Yeah.
Dr. Unger, feel free.
Thank you. Stadler, the interesting thing is you're so strong in Central Eastern Europe, and not all the countries you're dealing with are very friendly to foreign investors anymore. They may have been 20 years ago, but now the political situation has changed in many of these countries. What are your most challenging either countries or situations that you're dealing with?
Thank you. Very actual question. I know, yes. Of course, there is a political risk in some of the countries where we are active in. We see this also is assisted by our principle of local entrepreneurship. As we have the local managers and as we have local brands, of course, we are more seen as local companies than other big insurers with brand names, with international brand names. But for sure, there are some countries which are really very difficult. For example, we are present in Turkey, which is a market not so easy at the moment, and you always see surprises from one day to another. But our Turkish operation is I would say quite successful. We overtook here Reisigorta, and we keep this name. This was a former railway insurer, the former local railway insurer, and has as clients a lot of civil servants, teachers, so mainly the upper class of the Turkish population, and I think this is the success here in this country. Also, to mention two different political countries are for sure Poland and Hungary. We see a lot of repatriation initiatives there, and as I know, you know our company, I would say quite well. For sure, you are talking about our new, our latest acquisition, which was an acquisition from a Dutch company where we overtook the Aegon subsidiaries, especially in, or not especially, but in 4 countries, in Hungary, Poland, Romania, and Turkey. And at the moment, we are in discussion with the Hungarian government, because they have launched a new law in the last year, and this law is telling that critical infrastructure and insurance is belonging to critical infrastructure shall not be sold to a foreign investor. So we are really in active discussions with Hungarian ministers and with the government how we can solve this situation. So of course, this is a challenge, but I think we have learned in the last 30 years, we are active in Eastern Europe now since 30 years. We have learned to live with this challenge and to manage this challenge. And for sure, this local entrepreneurship, this principle, and that we have really excellent local managers, very well known in their markets. And also we have I would say, good connection to the different authorities and governments, and this helps for sure in situations like this.
Thank you.
Lydia?
You've now added another level of complexity to the many things that you talked about as priorities. And you mentioned that through the crisis, the digitalization process has been a real transformation for you, especially when I look at some of the other services you're doing as a solution provider for the platforms. How hard and how fast did you have to work to make sure that digitalization, or the digital contact point for customers, was streamlined so that it didn't matter which way your customer contacted you?
Thank you. This is for sure a very, very interesting topic. We are present, I already mentioned, in 30 countries. This is from Austria eastwards. We are present in all the CAE countries except Russia. And the situation concerning digitalization, modern innovation topics is quite different from country to country. As more you go east, the more digital affine are our employees, the persons, and for sure, of course, the clients. The contact between insurers and clients, or the client contacts, is in the eastern countries much more digital than, for example, in Austria or in Central Europe. In Austria and also in our neighbor countries, we still see that the clients want to see the insurer physically. They want to look into his eyes and get out here the information if the answer to his question is correct or not. In the Eastern countries, we see they have overtaken, I would say, the last 2 decades quite or much quicker than we have done in Western Europe. And they are forerunner in this situation there. And that is the reason why we have started our first digital insurance and solution in Poland, because there it's quite normal that you buy a car insurance or a house insurance on a digital way, that you don't need to talk to anybody or to get some information directly. You can search this in the internet or write it or read it yourself. So that is our experience here in this point.
Hi, Mrs. Stadler. Good to see you again. Maybe you can remember we passed our ways at Munich Re a long time ago.
I remember, yeah.
What do you expect? I mean, I agree, digitalization is not progressing as fast as compared to other countries like UK, America. But on the other side, you see also a lot of tendencies around breaking up the business model, the value chain of the insurers. Look at and investors selling or potentially selling their asset management and the pressure on Aviva. What do you expect from a more midterm perspective, how sustainable the current structures in the insurance industry are?
That's really a good question, yeah. And I can't foresee the future, but I would expect we see and we have to live with change everywhere. And for sure, we have to change our business models and we have to adapt our business models. But as I mentioned before, I would say I would not see a real revolution in the insurance industry, in the insurance business. For sure, insurance cover will be needed. It will be changed, yeah, because of the new systems. House and household insurances will be changed because you have assistance services everywhere, that you get information if there is a fire or if there is water flooding your flat. So I think this will change, and also the models will change, and also the cover will change. But at the end, in my opinion, the need for insurance will be there also in the future. We have the slogan, protecting what matters, and there are a lot of matters which are important for our clients. These are things around them, and of course, this is their health, which is very important at the moment, and which we already have seen during the pandemic crisis. Health insurance cover and care for their own health has become more and more important in the last months, and insurance solutions therefore have been asked more than before, and we have a big increase in this business in the last months. And also in the life insurance, I know that everybody, or I remember that already 20 or 25 years ago, I'm in the insurance industry now more than 30 years. Someone said to me, life insurance is dead, and it's still alive and it's still growing. So I think all the changing environment around us, the demographic change, we live longer, we stay healthier, what are quite positive effects. But on the other side, this means that we need more money to spend. We want to have more money, we want to be more active, and therefore insurance cover is a perfect solution. So in my opinion, yes, we need to change our business model, we need to change our products, but from the principle of insurance and insurance, I think this will stay.
Some more questions? Just unmute yourself and feel free. Okay.
Yes, good morning, Ms. Stadler. I would have 2 questions. One is on the corporate level, and I would like to know the reason for the double listing, as you mentioned before. I mean, listing is a very engaging process, and it's also a cost factor. So being listed on 2 stock exchanges means even higher costs. And the second one, as you talked about the behavior of people and also of companies, I would like to know how cyber insurances, how you handle them, what you offer, and what trends do you see there? Because as far as I know, ransomware attacks have been becoming more and more common. And so I think the demand for that kind of insurance will be pretty high. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the question concerning the double listing. In my opinion, but I'm not the right one to really talk about this. This is the cost factor is not much higher, because we have our investor relations department. They are servicing all the analysts and all our shareholders, and it's independent if the shareholders are from Austria or from Czechia. We are listed, I think this is out of the history, because Czechia was the first market where we went, and we had at that time also a participation in the Prague Stock Exchange, and I think therefore this is the reason why we are listed on the Prague Stock Exchange. But this was far before my time, so I will get some information, because this question never has put anybody to me, so I need to get more information about this from my side. And as the Prague and the Vienna Stock Exchange are connected, so I think this is not really a cost factor for us. It's a general cost factor to be listed on a stock exchange, that is quite clear. But on the other side, this is a way how to get money and how to earn money or to get money if you need it for some investments. So for us, this is still a good decision, and we will stay to keep it in that way. Then the behavior of people and companies concerning cyber insurance. Of course, we offer cyber insurance solutions. This is also a new insurance cover since some years. I think we were the first ones in Austria who started with a product in this case. And of course, we did it together with the international reinsurers, because this can be a big risk for only one company. So we created solutions together with the reinsurers, and of course, we reinsure this risk cover if we take it. We have a lot of, I would say, bigger companies who for sure take this insurance. They are quite aware of the cyber risks, and they know that this insurance is needed, and that this insurance is, of course, in some cases, maybe a little bit expensive. We have a lot of small, medium enterprises in Austria, and also in the neighbor countries. I would say they are not aware at the moment of the risk of a cyber attack, or what could be a financial risk out of this. So we try to train our employees and to give all the information needed to the clients to make awareness within these small and medium enterprises how important it is to have a cover like this. We have a special business line called assistance. We try to give not only insurance cover and not only financial payments to the clients if a claim happens, but also to assist them in handling the claim, or maybe also prohibiting the claim. And especially for this cyber insurance, we have created a special assistance. We have a direct line for all the clients who want to contact us to get information about cyber risks. What can they do to avoid the cyber risks? What do they have to do if really a cyber attack happens? And we also have some technicals which we can send to the clients if there is really urgent help necessary.
Well, if there is no question for the time being, I'd like to come back to the digitalization approach that you mentioned, that was also discussed based on Lydia's question. You mentioned 180 projects. I would be curious to know which one is the most demanding for you. Because 180 seems quite a lot.
Yeah, thank you for this question. For sure, 180 is quite a lot, but as I mentioned before, we have 50 companies. And for sure, every company is running one or two digitalization projects which are important for the group. Of course, they are running their own local projects, but we try to have this principle of best experience also within the group. I always say we have 50 digital hubs. All our companies are really innovative, are searching for new solutions, and if such interesting solutions coming up, which could be interesting also for the other companies in the other countries, we try to share this information, to bring this best information from one country to another. That is why we have so many digital projects. These 180 are only these ones we coordinate for the whole group. And we know in the headquarters, for sure, there are a lot of smaller local projects which we even don't know. If you ask me what is the most important, I would say there are two in my opinion. The one is this digital insurance for car insurance, which we started in Poland. Of course, the legal situation there is a little bit different compared to the Austrian one. In the Central Europe, we see a lot of legal hurdles sometimes. This is much easier to handle in the Eastern European countries. In Poland, for example, you buy a car, you get this registration card with a QR code, and then you can get automatically an insurance proposal, and you also can conclude the insurance, and from the next minute on you are insured. This would not be possible at the moment in Austria, because you have to do this physical registration and to get this registration number from an office. So there are different situations in the different countries, and we try to start always in these countries where we see the best positioning for a new solution. But this is for me a very important project because we have created this IT system in that way that we can transport it to the other countries, and this would for sure be an interesting model, maybe not only for the countries where we are already operating with subsidiaries at the moment, but this could also be interesting for other countries where we are not present as insurer at the moment. So this digital car insurance project is, in my opinion, one of the most important. And another one I would like to mention is the digital project concerning health insurance. As I already told you before, this is really a trend at the moment. Health insurance, securing the health of persons, getting information about this is very important. So we have started an international project also here, and here we try to assist our clients. They get second opinion from international doctors if they have bad diseases, for example, where they would like to get information from a specialist from the US also. So this project is already running in half of our countries, and this is really very, very much assisting to our clients, and it's very well accepted by our clients.
Going back to the car insurance and your commitment to ESG, are you starting to have totally different packages to encourage more e-mobility, for example? And also, will there be another factor once you get into self-driving? Because there's a huge progression in ADAS and self-driving cars now. And I guess you have to plan 5 to 7 years out as well for how you'll adjust your products.
Let me start with the last point. These self-driving cars, this is a very interesting topic at the moment, and it's very heavily discussed between insurers, lawyers, and all the different persons, functions, companies involved. It's absolutely not clear at the moment who is responsible for a self-driving car. Is it the company who has built the car? Is it the one who is sitting in the car but not driving it? So this is really a very important topic, and we are discussing it very heavily, not only in Austria but also on a European Union level, and maybe even broader. So we are expecting, or it is expected, that there should be an outcome in the next 2 to 3 years, that we should have clarity how is the legal situation, and then we can set up an insurance product around. Concerning this topic you mentioned, ESG, we don't have special products for hybrid cars or for electro cars, but of course we give discounts if our clients can show that they want to assist the ESG criteria, or they want to assist the green economy. And concerning the question you raised in the middle, this is a very interesting one, because we also try to find some ecosystems and to include us as insurer into ecosystems. And there, for example, we have a cooperation and a participation in a company named VIG-CEO. This is a company who offers cars for special time, for special events to the clients. And as we have this cooperation with them, of course, we are the insurer. So this is very, I would say, easy to handle, very, very straight for the users. You just call, the car is put where you want to have it, it's insured, it's fully filled with gas, so you can go to the car and start immediately. And if you end your time or your drive, you leave the car where you want, just call the agency and they pick it up again. So I think this will be for sure innovative solutions for the future. It's always very important that these solutions are easy to handle and easy to understand for the clients.
Yes, they have to be as easy as PayPal or Amazon.
You're right. Yeah.
Because that's what we're trained on, you know.
Maybe if I may, Hendrik Bremer.
Yeah.
A question. You talked a lot about digitalization. What you see in organizations that you need to change, of course, towards your customers, but also the way of working. So more with the collaboration between business and IT. They call it also agile way of working. But it's also about changing, the management style. Is that something that is a topic at VIG? Changing the management style and a different way of working, maybe agile?
For sure, this is a topic, yes. And we have some pilot projects concerning agile working. We already started this before the pandemic, and during the pandemic, it really proved to be very good that we have started this before, and that we have taken up all these points before. Of course, we need to change the way of work. Maybe to give you some insight, there is the holding company. The holding company is coordinating all the 30 operative companies. And then there are the operative companies who are doing the insurance business, the administration, the claim handling, and the contact with the clients. So the holding company already our employees already worked agile and digital also before. Because our colleagues are traveling a lot, they have to coordinate these 50 companies in 30 countries. So for them, it was, I would say, quite normal to operate, to communicate, to make meetings from an airport, from an office in another country, or from at home. For the operative companies who were doing the contact to the client and the insurance administration, for them it was not so common. But they really fell into the digitalization from one day to another when COVID-19 came. And we have made the experience here that also this already works quite good. And also here we see a lot of potential for the future. So for sure, we will change the way of work for employees. And this means, in consequence, quite clear also the change of management and the change of how you run a company. We are doing, we have done some Befragungen, Untersuchungen. You understand? Thank you. Yeah, with our employees, and we've got the information and the feedback that more than 50% of our employees would like to use mobile working. And so this is quite clear for us that we will install this, and we will make concrete concepts how to handle this, not only in the holding company, but also in the operating companies, and also in the holding company. We will see this in a deeper way than before. And this means for the managers, I would say quite a big challenge, because it's very important in these cases for the managers how they act and interact with their employees, how they motivate their employees, how they coordinate their employees. So I think we will need maybe a little bit change in the management style and also in the behavior of the managers in the next months, if we want to fulfill this project of agile working, if we really want to see a big percentage of our employees doing this agile working. And we have set up also here 3 pilot projects. We have a team of actuaries. I don't know if you are familiar with this. An actuary is a very important person for an insurance company, but actuaries now are really also working for banks and other institutions, and you don't find too many of these actuaries. So the situation here is, of course, as we see it very often, much easier in the Eastern European countries. So we have a team of actuaries which is coordinated out of Austria, but we have a lot of actuaries from Hungary, Bulgaria, Poland in this team. And here we have started with this project of agile working. Of course, these are, I would say, very well experienced colleagues, and for sure it's easier to handle agile working with them than with others who are mainly doing insurance administration. But they are very interested and they like it very much, and it works really perfect. That they can work together, even if they don't sit together. They can work on the projects. They can handle over the projects in the project chain from one to other. And I think this is really very promising for the future. And in my opinion, we should really favor this, and we will favor this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Schwarzer, please. Schwarzer.
So I would like to ask the following question, Ms. Stadler. You talked a lot about your customers and the enormous volume and amount of customers. Who are your customers? Is that different from country to country? Are they large corporates, small corporates? What's your approach? And what's the average age of your individuals? And was there a shift over the last few years? And what do you plan? Do you have a focus, or do you just take what you can get?
As we are number one in the Central and Eastern European region, of course, this means we run all the business lines. This means we do life, non-life, health. We run all the business lines. We have all the different sales channels. And for sure, and that is clearly our aim, to have as much customers as possible and to service all the customers. We have private and corporate customers. That is quite clear. I would say it's of course different from country to country, because these 30 countries are very different from one to each other. But in general, I would say we have about 20-25% corporate customers and 75% individual and private customers. This, of course, depends very much from country to country. In the Eastern European countries, our private customers mainly have car insurance. This is, of course, the first contact point between a customer and an insurance company, because this is something what is in most of the countries where we are present, not in all of the countries, this is legally required. And the second part is house and household insurance. In these Eastern European countries, we have for sure at the moment less life insurance. Health insurance is really very interesting and quite starting in the CEE countries, but for sure as the education is not as high as we see it in the Middle European countries, and for sure the standard is not as high as we see it in the Middle European countries. There are different kinds of insurance products the client pay, and of course there is different percentage between private and corporate customers. I can give you some figures because I'm an actuary too, and you know actuaries always like to have some figures in mind.
Kind of lexicon.
And an average spending for insurance cover in Austria is about 2,000 euro per person. In the European Union, it's 2,800. So this means also in Austria, there is still potential compared to the Western European countries. And if we go east, we see, for example, in Czechia and Slovakia, spendings about 500 to 600 euros. And if we go even more east in Bulgaria, for example, or Ukraine, we have less than 100 euro spendings for an insurance cover. Of course, the level is different in these countries, but also if I look at the general level in the countries, we see that there is a lot of potential for insurance and insurance cover in the next years. And as we see in these countries that the economic situation is getting better and better, that the economic situation is improving, that the general situation of the persons is improving, standards are increasing, education situation is increasing, we clearly expect that we see here a lot of potential, and we will see this potential coming up in the next years in these countries. Looking at the corporate clients, I think we are really well experienced in corporate business in Austria and in the Eastern European countries. We have a lot of Austrian clients who have operations not only in Eastern Europe, but also around the world. And for sure, we try to cover all these needs from the companies all around the world. We try to accompany also our corporate clients into the other countries. This is possible, and I think we are quite experienced here. We have insurance cover in about 60 countries around the world, out of Austrian corporate companies who are operating in other countries. So I think this is a very, very important business line in our group. In Austria, my colleague is not so happy, but I also like this figure. We have more than 50% market share in corporate business. So this means we are really not only well experienced, but also well renovated in this business. And I think we have quite good connections. And also here it's very important to give assistance to our international clients. We have special underwriters. They go to the companies, they and see the situation in the companies. They look what insurance cover is needed, maybe also what prohibitions should be taken. We also assist our clients in what can they do to save their real estate or to secure it, that an insurance case does not happen. So I think also here we try to accompany our clients to give the best service and of course the best assistance to our clients. And we are quite happy with our corporate business. And I can tell you, I'm also quite happy with the differentiation we have here in this business. because this is quite international standard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Stadler, for answering all our questions. We are at the end of our session, and I would like to thank all of you for having joined us for this very interesting event. Thanks again. Susie, any final comments, famous last words?
Thank you, Professor Stadler, for your highly interesting keynote and also the insights. And thank you all for joining. And I wish you a wonderful summer and enjoy the vacation, and see you in September. Looking forward to. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.